Why is it not letting me upload? Okay, go
We're
ahead.
live.
Welcome to the Jane Doe Podcast. I'm Tanya. Gad, you'll let me know if I should continue. We have V.
I know we have 0 people in here right now.
They say I knew you would let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So I can finish eating my rice.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I turned my camera off because I'm eating a popsicle.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, you know,
What about Man Code? You definitely could have had a camera on doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
hell no.
almost like
Gadget.
doing splits in front of the Starbucks
Yeah.
Right. Add a popsicle to that.
at a popsicle. Mm-hmm.
What a view.
Oh, my God.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we're getting folks.
Hey, fam.
We getting folks. Come on in here, y'all.
Aren't those AKA colors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to look like an AKA tonight.
Come on, AKA. What do they do? Ski week? They make that stupid ass noise. Sorry. I'm sorry.
You just offended half of our listeners.
I know these are AKA colors, but I'm a Delta in my heart. Sorry, lady.
Well, she didn't offend anyone but 2 people, apparently.
I'm sorry. I mean, I like them.
3 now.
They're beautiful people, but the noise scares me. They're beautiful people, though, and I like what they do for whatever the community or whoever they do shit for.
No.
I'm just gonna shut up.
I'm pretty sure
It's on one tonight.
Mika keeps a shovel.
Mika,
I know.
She
It's
just
bad.
digging.
What did you end up doing? What did you end up deciding for your birthday?
So guess what, you guys? My family, I think they're trying to surprise me with something because that's why I look a hot mess today because I gotta look cute tomorrow. I gotta start looking cute by tomorrow. So I don't know what's going on. The guy that I'm supposedly dating, he's like, yeah, you know.
Supposedly?
I mean, we're dating. I don't know, guys.
What is happening? What kind of answer was that?
Okay, so yeah, we're doing something.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounded definite.
Take plenty of pictures.
I mean, I guess, like I said, I think my family is trying to plan something for me. They probably got tired of my mouth, so you know.
So is tomorrow your birthday?
No, my birthday's on Tuesday, so I'm enjoying my last little bit in this chapter here.
Okay.
All right.
I'm nervous. I feel like it's gonna hurt
What?
to turn a new age.
Oh no. It'll be
Why?
liberating. It's a blessing.
I gave y'all a childhood picture.
All right. Little Mika.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll know what to say out my mouth if I have the younger me on here.
No.
No, you still won't. I know I didn't.
You won't.
But yeah,
Welcome. Come on in, you guys.
I'll spill rice on my
Tanya, I'm liking whatever. Is that a hair wrap? Whatever it is, I like.
This is like one of those tile things that dry your hair. Actually,
You just know how to make anything cute.
You're just giving us all kinds of Betty Boop / Florida Evans.
She really is.
Damn.
Not damn.
Hey, we lucky we got him.
Oh my gosh.
V, those braids you're giving me 20-year-old
Yes.
poetic justice vibes. I'm about to stick some
So I
youngins on you.
I can break out into my poor acting like Janet Jackson did in Poetic Justice.
Oh my god.
You just like
Why you say live
Don't do
video
that.
interrupted?
This is no. We not gonna diss the queen tonight.
listen. Janet is
So
all
you interrupted the broadcast?
No.
It says
I hate
live
you.
video interrupted.
I don't see that.
That's your internet.
Oh, maybe. It said it should resume. I don't know.
Your internet.
There is
People
kind of
need-
a storm coming, right?
People next door connected to your router.
Oh wow.
Lord.
Your neighbors.
Actually, I don't have a neighbor anymore.
Oh, congratulations.
That's a blessing. Neighbors from hell.
When did they get evicted? 'Cause I know they didn't leave on their own.
Not when did they move?
Yeah,
We knew that wouldn't last
I don't
long.
think it was by choice, but it wasn't like a kid. The guy who owns it, I think he's coming back.
Great.
Yeah, we knew that wasn't gonna last long.
No.
I gotta see what happened to my thing. Do we have some people enough to get the party started?
We got
Let's just go
3.
ahead and start.
Let's just go ahead and do it.
Okay, so I was in the middle of introducing V. V, is your mouth full? What are you
Yes. I'm sorry. Beef and
Whoa.
doing? We're joined by Malika.
Hey, hello. I think my mom is the only person watching. Hey, mommy.
We have Aunt Judy on there.
Oh, well, see, mine isn't haven't
See?
come up yet.
The
And
queen.
y'all talked about my internets.
Hey, Aunt Judy.
Hey, Miss Judy. Hey,
And
Melinda's
Hey.
mom.
We have
Miss
little
Judy.
we have little Mika. Little Mika.
Hey, that's going to probably not behave tonight, but hey, you know.
It's so funny when you talk like that little vibrating circle color comes up. That's funny. Okay, and we have Gadget.
Hi there.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Come on. You
He
give
gave
me
us-
Lionel Richie vibes. Hello.
He gave us 976 gadgets.
Oh my
Plug
god.
me in. Plug me in.
All right, so we're working with. Oh, this is a good one. Do women have the one who got away conversations?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, I have.
Kind of. I mean, the one I broke up with, like, why'd I break up with him kind of conversations, but not really got away, like left me.
That's not he got away type.
That's why I said that's the only
No.
thing I kind of have.
Yeah, that's not that.
You've never been in a relationship where you messed up and he left?
No, I don't mess up.
Yeah, neither do I. It ain't no mess ups over here.
Yes, I've never had that happen.
I be messing up.
But we should be talking to V right here. We need a Q&A for V.
No, I will say that in my earlier life, I simply was not ready.
Mm-hmm.
I simply was not ready. Whatever the young man was dealing with and ready for, he was ready to set it off, and I was not ready to set it off.
Mm-hmm.
And I let him know, probably in the most riggedy raw way, that I was not ready.
What way was that?
I cheated on him.
Oh.
Oh, how did he find out?
His friend told him.
It wasn't the friend, was it?
Were you cheating with his friends?
It was.
It was the friend?
Yes.
God damn it.
So you wanted him to know. Did you want him to know?
I didn't care. I didn't care about nothing.
Wow.
She said she was younging and thugging.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. So at what point did you
My
say that
thing.
he was the one that got away though?
My thing was thanging, and his thing was thanging, and so our things were thanging.
But he's one of the ones that got away.
He is.
Okay.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a preacher, and he's happy.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a preacher. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I
And
have a
we-
one that got away too.
And
But it
he's
wasn't
still-
like
We
these.
still chat. We're great friends. He's still,
Mhm.
we chat, and we catch up with each other's families and lives and things, and he still gives me the blues about how I did him, but it's okay. I was young.
Is the friend still around?
Oh yeah. Actually, they came up in a bros before hoes kind of thing. They came up for that, with that kind of mentality. So I was the pariah in the whole thing, but I didn't care. Shoot, I was on to the next dude. Thank you.
Mhm.
But I'm sure you learned a lot from it.
Not really.
I was gonna say what? What was I don't think it's a lesson learned type.
No, it wasn't anything to. I was single and doing my thing. I've been tripping off of guys.
Unless Malika means after the fact when you're saying that he's the one that
Yeah.
got away. Like, what was the lesson learned there? If there was one. There wasn't, because that was who you were at the time.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
I'm an entirely different creature at this time. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm-
Mika, you said you have one?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Well, mine was I was dating, story of my life, dating multiple guys, and it came down to two, and I chose the bad one over the good one, and the bad one ended up being just who he was, bad. And then when I tried to go back with the good one a couple years later, like, so me and the good guy, like, he was patient. He didn't want to have sex quickly. He wanted to get to know me, my son was very young at that time. So he was like just taking his time with me. And I appreciated that. The other guy was not, and I jumped with the other guy. So years later down the line, when I met ran back into the good guy, him and we hung out, and we like were reminiscing, and I thought we were getting a genuine connection back going, because I was like, dang, I'm single now. Like, hopefully I can, run it back, spin the block. He one night stood my ass and stopped calling me. And I ran into him years later, and he was married with a beautiful wife. And I follow him on Instagram, and we follow each other on Instagram. And he treats his wife like the best piece of treasured gold ever. So he's my one that got away. And we had a conversation about it later. He apologized for doing me dirty that night. And he was like, he felt like that was how he can get back at me, because I broke his heart. So, and I had to deal with it, because he was right. I was wrong. So I apologized, and I wished him well. But in the back of my head, I was like, I hope y'all get divorced and you come back over here. Because he's so fine, but and he's a good guy, but he does treat his wife well. And when I saw her, I can tell that she was happy. She was so happy that she wasn't even bothered by the way that I hugged him, because I didn't know he was married. I jumped up on him like, oh my God. And she was like, oh, hey. He was like, oh, this is my wife. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, what's going on with you though? She wasn't even bothered by that, because she knew that her man was for her.
Right. I know that's right.
One that got away. I was sad, but whatever.
Oh, Malika?
I don't have a personal story, but I have had a conversation with a girlfriend who broke up with someone, and years later she felt like that he was the one that got away. She realized that she wasn't patient with him. And she's like, the things that bothered her really weren't that big now that she's thinking back on it. And she ended up getting married, and for some reason she decided to call and tell him that she was getting married. And she said she could tell that he was a little hurt by it. But then she ended up getting divorced, and then he got married, and she cried when she found out he was getting married.
Oh,
yeah, she cried.
Why can't I just hear Vesta Williams' song?
Yes.
In the background?
Yes, she cried when she found out he was getting married, because she was like, I really messed that up.
They'll get together when they're 80.
When they're 80.
No. Oh God, no.
Hey.
Don't get with me when I'm 80. Get out of here.
Hey, there are people living to their hundreds. I mean, not hundreds, till they are 100. That's 20 years.
Yeah,
Marry
but don't
me
come come to me when you 80.
Exactly.
No.
Marry me
That's
now.
a good long relationship.
Should have had me when you had the chance.
Period.
You know what? I'm like that, because usually for me, when I'm in a relationship, I give everything until there's not a drop left. So when they decide to circle back around, it's like, I don't know what you want me to do now. Because by that time, I have given everything.
And that's how I was. And that's probably why I became such a bitch, because I've been ran over so much. I was like, okay, let me run some people over for a change. So.
Yeah, I usually give everything. And then, like most situations, they come back around like, wow, I didn't realize this, or I didn't realize that. And by that time, it's like, I can't really help you right now.
Right. I'm a firm believer. They always spin the block. They always spin the block. Now, do I oblige? Sometimes. Sometimes.
It depends on what they're spinning with.
It depends on what they're spinning with. And sometimes when they spin the block and come back and try to right their wrongs, I'm over it. I'm like, dang, this was fun, but I'm bored. Next.
Yeah, it never seems to work when somebody comes back.
To work.
Yeah,
Nope.
it's never the same.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's like eating eggs after they've already been cooked and they're sitting on the stove for a while. It just don't have the same flavor.
Where did you pull that from, B?
Because it just doesn't have the same flavor.
That is a good analogy, because don't nobody want no cold ass eggs.
Exactly.
You know what? Like, I think for women too, a lot of women anyway, when time goes by, like, we're kind of like, we think of you less, but it seems like when time goes by, men think of you more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they come back, but we're like, well, I moved on because I no longer feel that way.
Yeah, it's like, if you give us time to get over you,
That's it.
that's it.
That's the worst thing they can do.
My number one thing to say, catch me while I care, because once I don't care anymore, you're never gonna get. We can be cool, but we'll never get back into that romantic
Never
space.
get back to where we were.
I've thrown that away.
I'm definitely a strike while the iron is hot type of woman because you know you have to be a really special individual for me to even consider you after you break my heart. I can't let you break my heart twice.
Yeah, twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do y'all feel like sometimes after like a heartbreak and a person comes back to spin the block to maybe apologize or maybe try to right their wrongs, that you hear them out for your own closure and to give them that last cuss out? Do you feel like you do that?
Yeah. It depends on who it is.
I'm not the last cuss out. I will hear you out, but if I'm over you, you're not gonna get anything from me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, okay.
It depends on how we broke up.
Right.
It depends on how we broke up. And a lot of the time it's usually somebody that will come back and say, V, if I had known what I was in for when I left, I would have stayed with you because you oftentimes people will leave you and it's always in pursuit of something better. They think they can get something better. Right. But when you had it good and you go out there and you think it's better until you get ran all through. Yeah, that's how. Okay. Well, you weren't my blessing. You're somebody else's blessing.
Right. And that's fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So missing white woman syndrome.
Okay. So I don't know about y'all, but of course you keep seeing this news story about this little white girl. And I was just like, who is she? Like, why is she all over the news?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was talking to my mom about it today and she's like, is she a celebrity or something? And I mean, she was just everywhere. I mean, they set the dogs loose to find her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, her and her boyfriend lived in a van. I would expect her to be missing.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, not like that, not killed, but not be in touch with people for a while.
Yeah.
Like, for real, a lady who lives in a van, she's missing. Ooh, she'll pop up tomorrow.
I mean, it's. I feel like when I saw a little bit, because the same thing like you, like I kept seeing it. I'm like, who the hell is this girl? And not to sound insensitive, of course, you know, she was somebody's daughter or whatever. We feel sorry for their condolences to their family. I don't want anybody to think that, you know, we're like insensitive to it all. However, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it, I feel like Gadget. I was like, so you going cross country with this crazy ass sociopath looking man, because the man didn't look all together, and y'all are just taking pictures at the Grand Canyon hanging off, and we expect you to be okay? What? Get out of here. So I'm sorry. I know that sounds insensitive. I'm sad that girl passed away, but when I first saw that, I was like, of course she's missing, or of course I didn't think she was dead. So I was like, you know, of course she's missing. Like, she's going cross country with little contact with her family. So
so I guess basically the syndrome is about that. The focus is always on the well, I'm not going to say white women because the white kids too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always
they're all blonde.
Yeah, it's always on that when so many black women, black kids,
black and brown. I mean, think
black
about
and brown. Yeah, they're missing.
Native American women that have gone missing, and
no one knows where they are.
The girls who got killed on the army base in Texas, they didn't even look for them, and they're in the army.
They didn't. Yeah. And I have to say this because this part is important. I'm in the Black and Missing group on Facebook, and so a white woman happened to jump on one of the posts and say, why does it have to be, she came with the all lives matter or the all missing people matter foolishness. And I said, you know, the reason why we have a black and missing page is because when black people go missing,
not highlighted enough.
It's not highlighted. It's not in the media as often. And there are thousands of people out here who feel the same way. When all of a sudden you started seeing little black girls being posted, their missing placards being posted on Twitter. DC police was putting them all up and everything. Everybody was all in arms. Why are they all of a sudden now showing these girls? Well, they said, okay, we're listening to you guys. You guys say we're not showing them enough. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And so I don't know.
Gaslighting. They were just gaslighting
Yeah,
black
but you know
people.
what, me too. I've noticed too that when I'm on social media, I don't see us posting us either.
Yeah,
I do.
I do.
No, but there's a lot of missing people.
There are a lot of missing people.
It should be like a lot of people are complaining about it, but a lot of people don't even watch the news anymore, so they don't have the power they once had because we have so many platforms. But the platforms that do have it, you don't see that. Like, I rarely see those blogs like, what's it, Jasmine this and Idiot. They're not posting a lot of those. Like, once in a while if it's an interesting story, but not on the regular.
I agree with that. I agree with that, Tanya. Like Shade Room and all of these
Yeah,
places.
you don't
see enough of it on
thing. Maybe they don't know. Like, we didn't know about the story about the medical student, the black guy that was a medical student.
They've been posting that in the
Did y'all see that they found him dead?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sad.
That was him?
Yeah.
That was his body in the river.
Well, that's why it's like rare instances. Yeah, but it's not like it should be. I would think that making people aware.
The Griot is a black media news outlet.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Owned by Byron Allen. Okay. So that's the only place that I saw that story in the Griot. So I guess what I'm mostly bothered by is, and I try not to chastise my Facebook friends and IG friends and things like that. I try not to chastise them much, but if I post, please share. No. When it comes to missing, please share. This is somebody's baby, so on and so forth, and please share. I might get 4 shares or 3 shares.
But that's what I'm saying.
I will say,
give me the logic. Like, help me understand the logic of someone who would not share somebody else's missing child. Like,
I can say that for me, and I think I've told you guys this before. I am almost like a blind scroller. I scroll and I'm not even reading. It's out of habit. So a lot of times I'm not even reading something when I'm scrolling. Yeah. So I can definitely admit to that. I think that a lot of times also when I'm looking and I see something which doesn't make sense now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, all of my friends are local. They're not going to be able to help find someone out of state, but still they may have someone out of state. So I can admit that I need to do better.
This world is small though. Like, Facebook and the internet has made the world small. I'm glad they found a little black girl in Chinatown. I think she's from Atlanta.
She was hardly little. That young lady was, and I said this I looked at her description, 5'10", 150 pounds, and she was 11 years old.
Yeah.
So if you looked at her picture, she had gloss and she had done her eyes up. I guess she was playing in paint that day. She could have easily passed for 18 or 19 years old.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I still felt like she had a baby face.
She did have a baby face, of course. But my point being is that she had her body size.
Right.
Will throw anybody off. I mean, you can look at her. If you're a sophisticated gentleman, you can look at her and see she's a baby.
Yeah, but I don't think these men care. Like, I don't think they care.
Well, that part.
Because I'm almost for certain the moment she opened her mouth and they had a conversation with her, she probably started doing a TikTok dance, and they were like, and I'm sure it didn't disturb them to be like, get in my car, because like you said, they looked at her stature.
Right.
If you 5'11" and 150 pounds, that's kind of brick house.
But baby, 11 years old. Think about what you guys were doing at 11.
Yeah.
Look. These guys out here don't care.
They don't.
Go to YouTube. There's about 50 channels of pred catchers where these guys set up online predators and film it and put it on YouTube.
Oh, yes, it's insane. Look, I'll tell y'all a very true story. My niece, my youngest niece, she is a brick house. Okay, she has the BBL that people are paying for. She has that naturally, and she's had a big butt all her life. And it's to the point where now it's a thing for her. Like, she hates having a big old butt, because whenever we will go out, it'll be like, I don't want to move from right here. And I'm like, why? She's like, these grown men are looking at me. And one day, she looks like, at the time, she looked her age. She looked like a kid outside the fact she had a really big old butt. And these guys were going at her. And I heard her telling the guy, I'm 12. He said, so what?
Wow.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
12. Wow.
I let him have it because she can't help her body. She can't help her body. And even though, of course, we did all we can to keep her looking her age because her butt was so big. You know, we tried to like let her tie things around her waist or just things, but it built up a complex in her. Where now she's 17 and now she, you know, she'll wear age appropriate things, but certain things she's like, yeah, no, I don't want to wear that because
that's her body.
Yeah, and it built up a complex for her. She or every time she leaves out the house, she's like, oh wait, I need to tie something around my waist. I don't want anybody looking at my butt. And it's unfortunate that started from grown ass men looking at her as a kid.
I have to tell y'all, when I was on the bus, when I was riding a bus many years ago, it's nothing like seeing a child in her school uniform riding the bus to go to school, and you're just looking at these old ass men looking at this young girl like they just, I mean, you could just see them undressing her with their eyes. And I swear to God, I wanted to light that damn bus up so bad. I mean, this was not one man. This was several men.
Yeah, they're disgusting. They're disgusting. That one man, when I cussed him out, he had the nerve to tell me, let her talk for herself. And I'm like, she's 13.
Wow.
Like,
little girl.
Listen, y'all know my mouth. It was bad. He was ready to fight, and I was ready to fight back. And my brother ended up coming, and it turned into something different. But nonetheless, it shouldn't be that way with these grown men. Like you said, V, they will be undressing these little girls with their eyes. And it's like, damn, it's not enough grown woman for you to look at. Like, damn. I hate it. Ugh.
That's crazy. We really got really off.
Yeah, we do.
Another subject. I mean, we started off talking about missing.
How we do.
Missing women. So let me read some comments. So Spoon says they can show them on a little post, but there's never the resources put behind us when we're missing. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true because then you don't see to the extent that they're bringing out.
I don't think we've ever seen
helicopters
this week. We've never seen that.
Well, the FBI was involved, but you got to remember the reason why the FBI was involved because many of what their sightings were on federal land.
Yeah, federal land
on the highway. Like they got into an argument and the police pulled them over. It was just so it was so weird though.
So bizarre.
It was very bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, shall we move on?
Hold on, I just wanted to share this website. blackandmissinginc.com.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Gadget. We could be the platform if they're not going to be.
We can post a link. We can post a link on our page and keep it there, pin it there.
And maybe we can, if there's somebody missing that we know of that's not been getting the coverage, we could at the end of our show maybe add it.
Yeah.
Something like that. Definitely on the page.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do it.
All right. So this one's a little harder. No, are there any safe places for women? And this comes on the heels of the female who was killed by her fiance. Was that Bowie?
That was in
Upper Marlboro.
Upper Marlboro.
I really don't think it's off the previous subject, because we're talking about young women who are preyed upon. And then, as women age, we don't know how to look for those red flags in relationships.
Right.
Or they overlook them.
They overlook them. Yeah. We want to be married and we want companionship so bad that, we overlook them, or maybe we don't see them. And you get into situations with people that are supposed to love you. And they love you to death.
Literally.
Not that I don't think any details have come out yet.
They haven't.
About what happened. But I think if someone is shot and killed in the street, somebody had to see something.
Yeah.
Well, the word
he's in jail.
Yeah, the word on the curb was that she had gone out, and that because all of this happens about around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and she had gone out, and he got heated when she got home, and he had been drinking, and things just kind of spiraled. They got into an argument, and there you have it.
And this was also, from what we could tell, was a pretty fast courtship. So
Yeah.
a lot of people say, especially when they get a little older, the women say they don't need the long relationships anymore. You know,
Men say
you know
that
what
too.
you want.
Yeah,
And why do we have to go through this? But this kind of serves an example to me. Like, you really want to know people when they're angry, how they react. I mean, we know it's when they're good, it's good.
Yeah.
But how are they when they're angry and they're jealous and there's so many other things? You don't know people in every situation in a short amount of time.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you went to her Facebook page, I think it's still up. She doted over this man.
Oh my,
Like,
yes.
She really
She was
mentioned
very
him
much in
often.
love.
She was head over heels. She was planning her wedding, the dress, she was
And
really,
her friends seemed so happy for her as well.
Yeah.
Like, maybe she had been through a lot, and
she had 5 children. So she was like, okay, I've had my duds. It's time for me to get on and rock on with the man of my dreams. And that's
she did. Like she said, I told you, V, when I first saw it.
Yeah.
You could. Oh, I was at Malika. You could tell that she earlier posted she was looking for love.
Yeah.
So that puts you already really vulnerable and naive sometimes, because you're going to see what you want to see.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say this too. It doesn't mean that she hadn't experienced anything that was flag worthy, so to speak. And I'm not saying that this is her. Please don't mistake me saying that this is her. But when you're on social, people have a tendency to put whatever narrative they want to put out there.
Yes.
I mean, he could have been beating her for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we would have never known it.
True.
You know, because people like the happy story. They like the happy ending, you know, and so they'll put out whatever.
You're absolutely correct.
But you know what? It almost seemed like of course I wasn't a friend of hers, so I couldn't see all of her posts, but the post that I could see, it was the only narrative was him.
Yeah.
And me,
I think the one post that really got to me, and just to give a little context, you know, we were up late. What was it, Saturday night, looking at this. The one post that really got me was under a picture of the two of them when I guess they were in Miami or something, and it was her dad. And her dad was like, you know, basically like, you know, I see how happy he makes you. And you know, I accept him. And then I think that was like September. I think it was like September 9th or something. Like that happened. Yeah, when that post was made. So it's just the story is just so tragic, and you just wonder, like, what does she overlook?
Sometimes, like
V said, maybe she didn't.
She right, or maybe she did, because sometimes I've been in a situation with my ex. My situation was very toxic, but things were sweet with us for the first 6 months to the first year. Things were sweet, and I felt like we took our time. I got to know him, tried to get to know him when he was, you know, in all states, happy, sad, mad. But then, I mean, he never put his hands on me, or I would be in jail. However, when it came down to it, and I really, really like dug into him, that's when the toxicity came out, like a whole year later. So sometimes you're so in love with a person, you do overlook the red flags, or you think like, okay, well, maybe this is something that we can work through. As women, we're nurturers. So a lot of the times we think we could fix a problem or fix a person. So maybe that could be what it was too. Maybe she saw the anger in him and felt like she could fix that over time. And she was so not pressed, but she was so, you know, wrapped up and wanted to be in love. She overlooked all of that stuff.
You know, I have to tell you, being also a domestic, and it was unexpected. It was kind of an impromptu domestic abuse survivor.
Right.
I can tell you flat out that you can be with a person and who has done nothing but exhibit nothing but love towards you, and everything is all right until it ain't.
Yep.
This man never put his hand on me at any time through the whole course of our relationship. until I said it was over.
Triggers. That's why I said this could be people always assume there might be a whole lot of stuff that you're seeing or not seeing, but they're triggers. And that was his trigger. And and maybe the trigger was her not being there and his jealousy in that moment. Who knows? Alcohol could have played a huge part in that.
Yeah. It only takes a few seconds to ruin your life.
In the in the post, you guys are saying maybe it's mental health, and like, no, maybe the dude is just a scumbag. Like,
yeah, that is possible too.
Let's not give him the mental health.
The only reason I say that is because mental health is usually something unreasonable. It's not unreasonable. It's reasonable to be upset that your girlfriend came home or fiance came home late for you to argue, for you to be upset. Sometimes it's mental health if you shoot her in the street. That's different. That's like a trigger, and that is mental. I'm not saying that that's an out, but I'm saying that people have these triggers that definitely is mental. Yeah. And that's my point. Like, it's when something's unreasonable.
Isn't it everybody though?
What?
Usually that's how they flag something. Like, it's not usual for someone to get mad and to do X and X, right?
Yeah,
X, Y, and Z.
Everybody has triggers, but
but how you react to it. Yeah. Like that is the most extreme reaction that you can do, Gadget.
Yeah. It's like,
that's not normal.
Like 2:00 in the morning.
I understand. That's
not normal.
Let me go get this pistol and show her
it's not normal.
I think when people say that they're not crazy, they know what they were doing. It's hard for people to imagine that they don't want them to be responsible. He's still responsible. But people, when you say, "Oh no, he was mental," they think like, "Oh, so he's not responsible." No, he really is. But I'm just saying, you can't discount that is a very unreasonable reaction to something that wasn't that major. It did not warrant being shot in the street.
Yeah.
And furthermore, because of the number of domestic violence cases that we've had in this county, historically we've had since my existence that have been newsworthy in the state of Maryland. So much so that the laws had to be placed on the books. It was that the numbers were that high. Because we don't have a great deal of mental health attention in this area. They're starting to focus on it now because the word is being thrown around a lot. This state, I don't know about anywhere else, but I know Maryland has really suffered. Black women in particular have suffered a lot in the state of Maryland through domestic violence. I mean, let's go back to the young lady who was set on fire at her job.
Yeah.
She made it out alive, but
and even in that case, the judge wouldn't grant her the
restraining order. Exactly.
Restraining order. Yeah,
exactly.
He wouldn't grant her the restraining order.
I mean, just like a lot of people are saying now, a lot of these guys who are violent from like the inner city and things, that how they suffer PTSD. That's true. A lot of them do. They might not be doing something extreme as shooting their girlfriend in the street, but a lot of their reaction to things, you can tell that they're suffering from something.
Yeah, they don't know how to deal with. They don't know how to deal with their emotions.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are closet drug abusers too. I'm just going to put it out there. A lot of people are dealing with their pain through alcohol or drugs, and a lot of the time it's hidden.
Yeah,
everything. Sometimes it's not just about weed. Some people doing coke out here. Some people doing mad heroin. They're doing all kinds of stuff out here now.
Off the dipper.
Yeah, you just don't know. So, going back to the topic, like, are there safe spaces for women in general?
I don't think
she's not even safe in her house. She wasn't even safe in her own house.
No. You're not safe anywhere as a woman these days. You're just not.
I don't think we've ever been safe as women. First of all, we're in a patriarchal society. I don't think we've ever been in a safe space. And I mean, how can a woman? I've been in sweatpants walking down the street and been catcalled, hair in a bun, no makeup, just totally looking so not attractive, and still got catcalled.
And those are grown women. So think about how it feels to like Nico's niece.
Yeah,
and you can't mentally handle that, and you. Like you said, she develops like a complex over it and learns not to be proud of who she is and proud of her body. Something she can't even control.
Yep.
Yeah.
And why do we have to control it?
Yeah,
Why can't
for
you
sure.
control your actions and your words toward us?
Yeah.
I think that that's important, but I also think too that in today's society, I think we over sexualize young girls now. I think
we definitely do, but it's just not new. I think we have a problem with men. I think this goes back to the topic that you brought up, B. Men enjoying being in intimate situations with women, but not really loving women.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not respecting women at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not going to say everyone, because I know lots of men that treat women with respect. Gadget is one of them. But unfortunately, there are a lot of men who, as boys, weren't taught.
Yeah. And they're just trash as people.
To treat people with respect in general. And then, of course, women, we're at the bottom of the totem pole.
Well, there are a lot of layers to that onion, though. There are a lot of men who've been abused themselves as children.
Yeah.
And physically, sexually, and a lot of the time by women.
Yeah.
So you have those. I mean, because we don't want to have the conversation about women being perverts too.
Yep.
Because that's a whole nother topic.
That's a hard conversation for people.
That's a hard conversation. There are a lot. If you go in
Oprah situation.
Okay.
How about wasn't R. Kelly molested by a woman?
He was molested by his aunt, him and his brother.
Yeah.
But if you go on the Maryland Sexual Offender Registry, you will see just as many, not as many women, but you will see women on that registry.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people aren't reporting them either, so you got to remember that.
Right.
Yeah, because they're embarrassed.
Right.
I don't know how women.
It might be how the way they see it too, because I've talked to many men who had sex very early, and it was usually with somebody a lot older, and they said, "Well, I didn't think I was being raped. It didn't seem that way to me."
Yeah,
but it shows in how they act.
And your behavior.
It's about awareness. They're not aware of it.
Right.
You're treating someone who's very close to you, like in a relationship, a certain way.
And you're
being shaped. You're being shaped without knowing it.
Your sexuality is being broken, and you don't even realize it's being broken.
Yes. You know? Yes.
Rachel says,
go ahead.
Fighting the urge to be homosexual because of what people may say. Get with women, but treat them horribly.
Yeah.
And we're talking, Rachel, we're talking about men who are straight. Yeah. Just because you are horny does not mean you like women. Yeah. Because you want to have sex with women doesn't mean you like women.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how women in New York stay in relationships, because men in New York are the most horrible. Let me tell you. Hey, ma, bitch.
Definitely aggressive.
That is all New York.
Yeah.
Definitely aggressive. Well, not all of them. I had a boyfriend who's he's from the Bronx.
He was from Schenectady. He wasn't from.
No, he was from the Bronx. He was from the Bronx.
You wrong.
Very sweet guy. Yes, I did get a lot of hey mas, but
I grew up being afraid, like teenager and early 20s, telling men no. Like, I'm not interested. I was afraid they would attack me.
Yeah.
If I didn't say, like, I'm even if I, start saying I have a boyfriend, they were like, you can't have friends, and they would get close and it'd be more aggressive, and I would end up either giving them a fake number or my number because out of fear.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that, Tanya. As sassy and smart mouth as I am, I used to always have a fear of telling men no because I didn't want them to attack me. I was spit on before. I got spit on me because I would not give him my number.
That's the kind of environment we grew up in.
So it was always that fear, and even to present day, sometimes I'm like looking at certain things sideways because I'm like, what you gonna do? Like, why are you so close to me? I don't like that.
I will say that I am extra polite.
Me too. Because it's like you can't even. You like back in the day, in my teenage days, I was known for cussing guys out, but I would never do that now. I would never do that now because they'll shoot you in your head.
Yeah. I'm the opposite now. I would not curse you out then. I was super polite then, but now I'm more than like I'm sick of it. I've actually been followed. I've been
wow.
Oh yeah, me too.
I've been followed around and I mean. Called a lesbian, called a dyke, called a whatever, because I would tell somebody no, I'll be like, no, thank you. I'm not interested.
They don't care. They don't
It's
care.
that rejection. It's like that reject, and then don't let it be like the pack mentality. Is more than one guy. Really, and these sometimes they're really young. I don't even the way I interact with some of the young boys around here. I'm really careful because those are the ones who are doing all the crimes.
Yeah.
These little boys.
Well, you see the lady in was it Harlem who was at the liquor store? She was just
and I totally related to that video. I totally related to that video.
I remember, I forget if it was down south, and it was probably, but it was less than 5 years ago. And I remember seeing this article. I couldn't believe it. It was a couple. They were at a party. It was kind of like a juke joint or whatever, but it was at a party. And the young lady was on one side of the club and her boyfriend was on the other side of the club. And it was a guy that was dancing and he was getting up behind her and kind of grinding on her. And she was like, hey, don't do that. And she kind of tried to back him up, but he wouldn't let up. And she's like, listen, my husband's here. Listen, come on. I don't want a situation. Just kind of back up, ease up. So it spilled outside and he ended up shooting her and killing her.
Wow.
Yeah. See. Yeah. And that's the thing. Certain men don't know how to take rejection. So in the way of them not accepting your rejection is by them beating you up or trying to do something crazy. So I hate it. And my son hates it's sad. My son even hates it for me. Like a lot of the times when we go out and men try to talk to me, my son is like, Mom, can we just hurry up and walk to the car? Like, just don't look over there. Because he doesn't want them to say anything.
Confrontation. Exactly.
He doesn't want the confrontation. And I think my son also feels like because I've been a single mom all this time that he has to be my protector. So he doesn't even want to put himself in a situation to have to protect me, and then it turns into something crazy. And my kid shouldn't feel that way. My kids shouldn't feel that way, but these men are disgusting. So
to answer that, we don't feel there are that many safe places for us
at all.
No.
One great thing I would say about Gadget, when I first met Gadget, we worked in the same building. And when he approached me about modeling, the first thing I thought in my head, I'm like, oh, he's another creepy ass photographer. If he think that I'm about to go in his basement and take pictures and he be getting sneak peeks of my nipples, that's a no for me.
Oh
God. Gadget was very respectful, and he even was like, look, we can do the shoot outside, because I guess he was trying to make me feel comfortable and let me realize he's not a creep.
Yeah,
and literally,
right.
My friends, when Gadget did my photo shoot for my birthday last year, he saw a lot. And my friends were like, that is the best photographer that I've ever met. They were like, he was literally here for his job. He wasn't looking at us, making us feel like a piece of meat. Like, I can say that I have never had an instance where I felt like with Gadget, like, except for when he first approached me because I didn't know him. But once I got to know him and once I became comfortable, I've never had an instance where I felt like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't ask for me to touch my butt, or if I could take some suggestive photos. Like, he's never been that way. But there are not a lot of photographers like him. They're not. One of my girlfriends, she was even saying that. She was asking me for, Gadget's information. She was like, the last photographer I had, she was like, he kept asking me to bend over and touch my toes. And that was not it was a part of my engagement photos. Why do I have to do that?
Engagement photos.
She was taking some separate ones to surprise her fiance.
At least it wasn't a maternity shoot.
He was asking her. She has a very nice shape, and he was like, "Don't you just like want to bend over, like bust it wide open in one?" And she was like, "No." I'm sorry, it's funny now, but she was so uncomfortable. She was like, I couldn't even finish the shoot because he made me feel like a piece of meat. And she was like, your photographer came to your birthday party and we were naked, like damn near naked. And he didn't even. My cousin makes jokes about Gadget all the time. She was like, he could be a Caribbean police officer because he had his eyes straight ahead where it belonged. It was not looking all around the room, and that makes women feel safe. So Gadget's a safe place, but
he's a safe place.
Other than that, there are none.
Guys, I have to tell y'all, I have male platonic friends, and when I tell you that I love them so much because it is a safe space. It's important for women to be able to trust men in any capacity, especially from a friendship capacity. It's especially important because you can be at your lowest and have some really, really dark moments. And sometimes your blessing may not come from a woman. It might actually come from a man, the advice that you're given and so on and so forth. So it's important. I think those relationships are very important.
I totally.
Now, have you ever had like a platonic? Any of you had a platonic male friend, and he treated you and you felt safe, but you might have found out that he treated other women differently?
Yes, I have a male friend like that.
I can't say no. I have to say my friends are very consistent.
I have one male friend. He doesn't treat girls like garbage, but I realized that if a girl presents herself a certain way, he would treat her how she presents herself. And I have often had to tell him, like, you can't do that. You know, just because she's presenting herself to be a freako doesn't mean that you need to address her as what? It doesn't mean
hashtag freako.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't mean you need to address her like a freako. Like maybe she's acting like a freako because that's how she feels like she's accepted. I'm sorry, but he doesn't treat me like a freako. He treats me with the utmost respect, and of course, because I present myself that way. But other girls, I've seen him in action, and I've had to tell him, like, I will end our friendship over this. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't be friends with someone that does that, just because, you know, for me, it's people's constitution and core is very important. So I couldn't be friends with someone that treated me with respect, but treated other people and other women.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
You know what? It's hard for me to date someone if I know that he doesn't have a good relationship with his family, his kids, and I see him how he treats. Even if I don't like men who treat other women bad. Like, I hope you're not doing this for me, because that's like, to me, that's a turnoff. Like, if you're not holding the door for the woman behind us and you just like let it slam, I'm like, okay, that's like a negative right there for me. I watch how you treat other people.
That's
important to me. That's like what I say. I hate the disrespect.
I totally agree. And that's something that I'm teaching my son. You know, what I remind him, girls get on his nerves. They should. They're teenagers. That's what they do. But I remind him, remember, the way that you treat these girls, a man can turn around and treat me the same way, and you're not going to like it.
Wow.
So my father's not going to like it. So me reminding him, he's a great kid. He treats women with respect, but sometimes he might get smart. And I remind him of that. And when I remind him of it, I can actually see him kind of taking a moment to take it in and think about him not wanting anyone to treat his mother like trash. So he's not going to go out and treat other people's. He might put your daughter on block, but he's not going to treat her like trash. He's just going to block her.
There's nothing with a man getting smart with a woman.
No, it's not. But I've heard him. One day I heard him get a little too smart, and I was like, okay, now, yeah, you don't got to call that girl's mother and all the people in her family crackheads. That ain't nice. Let's not do that. Even though he wasn't lying, but he didn't have to do that.
Right.
You let me call her.
Let me guess. He called her a freako.
He called her a crackhead freako. And she was.
Is that the new word now? Freako?
No, that's been around a long time, V.
Really?
I wish I wasn't.
You never heard that before?
My brother, who might be on here,
I'm from
all the time.
I'm originally from the city. We used to call them freak bodies. That's what we used to call them.
Freak bodies too.
It's Freako. And Future got a whole song about it. Freako, make your knees touch your elbows. I'm gonna dance off that song this weekend because it's my birthday.
You can do that.
But I'll be respectable on Monday.
You'll be respectable on Monday.
Oh,
sorry,
somebody calls BS.
Sorry, Gadget.
Somebody calls BS. But you know where I feel more disrespect, and this might just be my experience because sometimes you see what you want to see. I always feel like a black man who dates a white woman seems to disrespect black women in public. Like, at least I see a difference in me. There's no eye contact. If I speak, they don't speak back. I don't know what kind of relationship maybe he has with her, and maybe she feels a certain way about him talking to black women. I don't know. But I always feel there's always a little something, like I told my cousin, like, when we were anywhere, I feel weird when brothers walk by and they don't speak to me.
Yeah.
I just feel weird. And it's most of the time if they're with in an interracial relationship.
Wow. Yeah.
I haven't experienced that, but I will say that to me, it is a little off-putting when you walk past a black man and he doesn't say hello, good morning.
So can I play devil's advocate on that real quick? A lot of black men that I know that don't speak to women is because they feel like they don't want the disrespect, because some women think that automatically
I was going there.
You want their phone number.
But I speak first.
Okay, well, that's different.
But
I speak first.
But Tanya, you're bright and bubbly, and that's just your personality. But can I just say that some of us are just like really bitches, and we just really like we have such a huge chip on our shoulder that I mean we kind of beat up by the world. So I've got my full armor on, and someone who's just walking by to just say hello. It's almost like, well, what you about to do? What you about to do? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your hands out of my pockets.
Right. I'll never forget this. I will never forget this. I was in my building, and this woman had on some boots. Y'all, I mean,
you told us this story.
Shut Mary J. Blige down, okay? Yeah. This broad had on some boots that was, oh my God, I know she paid a good grip for them. And I probably was looking at her just a teeny bit too long. Mm-hmm. And is it a problem?
Well, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm like that too, because after
that's a whole different thing. Women on women. That's a whole. Yeah. That's a different story.
It is, but we're always in fight mode, and I'm like,
well, I don't be in fight mode. I just want to know, like, what are you about to do? Like, are you going to compliment me, or are you just going to keep staring at me like a weirdo?
If she had gave me a few more seconds, I would have.
You would have.
And I said, I was just going to compliment you, you know, about your boots. Your boots are nice. I was like, but the way you coming at me, fuck you and them boots, you know? And right. And I'm sorry, but
I do agree with you. There are so many of us that are angry and have a chip on our shoulder and just believe that you have to be in defense mode all the time.
Always on ready, set, go.
I still feel away when they don't speak, especially in a place where it's a majority of white people and then brothers walk by. I was like, you don't see me? Like,
I don't like that either. I don't like
I've never thought about it.
I don't know. I always feel like if I'm that close, and especially if it's like in downtown or something, I'm walking past you. What's up, brother? You know what? I just always usually they speak first. But there's a lot of times where, and it's not like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say a certain type of man, but yeah, I mean, usually I'm just used to like, you know, black men speaking.
All skin folk and kin folk. That's all I say.
That's the truth.
Can we talk about this AJ Johnson real quick?
Sure. What she do? Oh,
man, that's such an odd situation. Why did we find out so late that this brother died?
Hold up, he didn't die recently?
No, he died like the first week of September or something.
Yeah, like the 7th or something.
He been on ice all this time.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why she's coming out saying none of these people helped me, was fake love. But where he been? Like, you didn't even tell us he died.
Wow, yeah, I thought he just died yesterday. Damn.
But you know what? He's not the first situation where it was like a rapper or something that had passed, and he had passed like a whole month ago, and the wife just came out. Yeah, and came out and announced it.
No, that was like 3 months.
Yeah, it was like weird. Like,
but why ask for money now to bury him? Like, he should have already been buried.
Well, maybe
because she thought she had it.
Well, maybe she asked. Maybe she was asking privately before, and people weren't stepping up.
Yeah, and I could agree with her on the fake love. Like,
maybe
all these people reposting RIP. You know, oh, we gonna miss you. We gonna miss you. All right, well, throw a couple dollars her way then. I'm sorry.
But why do other people owe her that though? Because I mean, just because you wish somebody well doesn't mean like financially that comes with my well wish.
Excuse me.
Everybody don't have it.
Well, Tanya, when you tell me happy birthday on Tuesday, I'm gonna send you my Cash App. So
hold on. Wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. Right. So usually we should put a slide up with, you know, to make his info.
I know how
if we were thinking, this girl does segue into her own Cash App.
Yes.
Segue.
Shameless plug. Like
so recently, I just got life insurance.
Okay.
I had my physical. They asked me they came to my job and took blood and urine.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you got
after this summer, I wasn't playing. I was like,
oh yeah,
there's not gonna be Ebony's not gonna do no damn GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I have it through my employer, but I just like a week and a half ago got more on top of what I got.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not playing.
Some people are worth more alive. I mean, dead than alive. So you
They
gotta
are.
watch
A
out.
lot of people. A
And
lot.
I know I am.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Miss Judy, I'm gonna ask Miss Judy. So we came up in the era. I remember. I'll be 51 in November. We came up in an era where people prepared to die. Like my grandmother, she used to pay the insurance guy. He used to come around and collect the payment every month. I mean, that was what he used to do. When my grandparents died, the policy was already paid for. It was already done. There wasn't anybody scrambling around trying to pull stuff together to get stuff done. So how did we come to such a pass where we're just not doing these kinds of things? I mean, we're in the age group, guys. We're in the age group where we are supposed to have this already on lock.
Yes.
And how do we fall apart like this?
I think it's educational.
yep.
There's a lot of money in insurance that I didn't realize. I didn't realize you could borrow against your policy.
Your whole life.
Like if
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
White people knew that.
Yep. I totally agree with
I
you.
didn't.
We are always misinformed. We don't get. I don't feel like we get for my generation. I will say I can't say that anybody has ever sat me down to talk about life insurance. So how would I know?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they invest the money. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just thought you send them, $100 a month, and if you die, you get this amount back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They invest the money for you.
Yeah.
It's cash.
Mm-hmm.
Like
what made me think
they
about?
cannot take taxes
You know what made me think about
from insurance.
What made me think about the insurance industry was when Magic Johnson made his HIV announcement. That's how he found out.
Mm-hmm.
He found out he was HIV because he was getting ready to do a new policy.
Mm.
It was a multi-million-dollar policy. And in order for you to do that, you had to do exactly as Gadget did: get blood, urine, all that stuff. And that's how he found out he was HIV.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Cookie should have pushed his ass down a flight of steps. She could have got some money. Damn, Cookie.
Back then, he's worth more now than he was back then.
Yeah.
Cookie or his little sweet son should push him down some steps now.
I'm glad we are overtime because I can't with y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm glad I got
Good for
life
you.
insurance.
Good for you.
Yeah, that is good, Gadget. Very good.
Good for you.
I don't think a lot of black men get life insurance.
I think we need to encourage this in our community a lot more. A lot of people think we're just throwing money away on a maybe, but we're no more maybes now.
There are no maybe. Let me tell you, and let me tell you guys, and we can go. When my sister died, my sister had just gotten an insurance policy a week before she died.
Wow.
A week before.
Wow.
And when she died, my niece and my nephew died with her. We had to bury all three of them.
Oh my God.
Actually, we did not have that insurance policy. It took them a while to pay out because it happened so quickly.
She was invested, right?
She was invested, and my brother was her insurance agent. So they're like, wait a minute.
Oh
But she
my
got
God.
it the week before she died. You just never know. And she left 2 children behind. You just never know.
Wow.
Did they get the whole amount?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, that's
Okay.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Wow,
That's life insurance, especially
Do you have-
for children.
Do you have life insurance?
Yes.
If you have car insurance, there's no reason to not have life.
Yes, I have
Right.
life insurance.
If you have kids, you should have life insurance.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
You're talking about Gerber plan.
I
Yeah.
probably have more than I need because I don't have any dependents. But yes, I do have life insurance.
Yeah.
And it's not even so much just to bury you or whatever. It's more or less to set your family up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Set your
So I
family
think
good.
my policy from work, if I die, they pay your house off. Or
Wow.
something like that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my
but
policy from my job is my salary times 2 or 3 or something like that. And then my TSP.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can pretty much do whatever I want. I just set mine, whatever amount I want, and they just take it out of my check. But then I have my separate policy that I just got through my car insurance.
Yeah, if you have children or other dependents.
Hey, Nola.
We need to get an insurance specialist on.
We do, because Nola said, what if you change jobs?
I have one.
You can roll them. Well, one of the things I learned is, like, because I'm with Fidelity, and you can roll. If I change jobs, you can actually roll into your.
I'm with Fidelity too.
Yeah,
you can come out of group and roll right into individual.
I didn't know that. That's good information, V. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we do need to have someone come on and talk about it.
I can have my guy from New York Life come on next week.
Okay, cool. And guys, I want to let y'all know Nola is also she's a very, very heavy into how to save and how to get your life insurance together. She just had a podcast about that just this week. So check her out. Grown Ass Woman Podcast. Give me a shout out, Nola. Hey, Grown Ass Women.
All right, y'all. It is 9:06.
All right.
Thank
you, everybody.
Well, y'all be ready to get the hell up out of here. Look, Mika gone already.
Look, head need to be done.
I got to take my braids out.
All right.
Yes, I got to go.
Are y'all gonna say goodbye to the?
I just said goodbye. I said thank you, everybody, for watching.
Terrible.
I mean, Mika just rolled out. She was like,
that was a little Mika.
I'm sorry.
Little Mika.
I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell.
Oh, terrible.
She was like, okay, bye.
Now we are going to end the podcast.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Y'all are crazy.